Okay, so again, I'm just going to share what I do to overcome this reaction. It might seem a bit silly, but I'm just going to share it anyway because the whole reason I started this channel was to share my experiences and worldviews in how this work has benefited me, right? So I am going to be a bit vulnerable here, but hopefully it helps at least some people. So what I do is I visualize this opponent as a lion. Again, it might seem a bit silly, but it's just the natural imagery that came to me when I first started doing this work. What this reaction is, at least when I feel it, is a fight or flight response, and I try and visualize me being confronted with a lion because that's the intensity that this feeling gives me. Right when I'm confronted with information or emotions that challenge my identity, my core belief system, challenge who I believe I am, it is so intense that it literally feels like I'm being face to face with a lion. Right? So I try and visualize, I try and give this emotion um, a face that would instill that fight or flight reaction in me in real life. And for me, it's a lion. So what I'll do, or what I used to do, even still sometimes, but when I really first when I first recognized that this reaction was limiting my ability to achieve goals in life, I started practicing. Just like you would in with any other opponent, you do a little sparring, right? You practice, you train for it. So what I would do, and again, I'm not a therapist, so I'm not telling you to do this, but this is what I did. Um, I would purposely bring up these reactions in my mind so I could face the lion. Okay, so um, experiences, memories in life that would bring up feelings of, guilt or shame or embarrassment, things that would instill that fight or flight response in me where my ego would just want to, reject that memory, right? Just reject that emotion. I would purposely bring them up, visualize it as the lion, right? And I would literally run. Like that fight or flight response would kick in. I would bring up these old memories. Um, and my mind, the ego, would just instantly reject it. I don't know if this happens to anybody else, but even to this day, if I bring up old memories that are that come with feelings of guilt or shame or embarrassment, my body will have like physical reactions to that thought. It's just a thought in my head, but my body will physically react. Sometimes I'll just like make a sound, like I'll just blurt something out loud, and in hindsight, like in retrospect, I now understand that that is my ego's way of breaking the thought. It's rejecting that information, right? It's saying we're not doing this. We're rejecting that. It's to break the chain of thought. And what I would do in these exercises in my training for the fight is I would grab the lion. Right, I'm visualizing this in my head, and I grab the lion and I just hold on to it as long as I can. And the first couple of times I would do this, I couldn't hold on very long, right? And I would flee, right? But the more I would do it, the more I would practice and hold on to the lion, the longer I could hold on to it, right? And eventually, over time, I wasn't fleeing the lion anymore. I could hold on as long as I needed to. And to this day, I still don't like the lion. like when the lion shows up, I'm not happy that it's showing up. But I know that it can't take me down. So, we kind of respect each other's territory. It's like in Dragon Ball Z when like, the Saiyan respects its opponent, right? And they don't like each other, but they respect the fight. They respect the battle, right? And just like in Dragon Ball Z, sometimes the battle is really hard and it can really beat you down. But the Saiyan comes back stronger, right? And the opponents, the really good fights, they respect each other, right? Even though they don't like each other, they respect each other. And that's what it's still like for me and the lion, right? I know that the lion's not weaker than me, right? But I know that I am much stronger than I was before, right? And now, just as the lion is a worthy opponent for me, I am now a worthy opponent for the lion. So getting a bit, metaphorical here, but it's because I had to really visualize all of this, because you don't really get a lot of training to do this growing up, right? So again, this is just how I do it. Hopefully, some of this is helpful for you, even if you don't do it the exact same way as me. Just taking bits and pieces of my experience and how I've come to overcome this reaction. Maybe you can use some of that for yourself. Okay, so to recap, this is, even though all of this happens in your head, in your mind, it's a real confrontation. Okay, so me visualizing it like a lion, again, that's just how I do it, but it's that real and it's that serious to me, right? That's how intense this feeling is. The reaction to reject information that challenges the ego is that intense, like being confronted with a lion. So it's a real confrontation, because I know that I'm going to have this confrontation many times throughout life, and I've decided that I want to show up to this confrontation, right? That I've decided it's a worthy opponent for me, for my life, to pursue my life goals. I practice, right? I don't go in, like, if you've got a big fight coming up or a big competition coming up, you don't just wait for competition day, right? You train, right? You practice for it, and that's what I do, right? So I try to get ready for it, and I train by bringing up, old lions of the past, and I sit in that discomfort for as long as I can, until I reach the point where I'm the one who's deciding when it's over, right? So I'm not fleeing because the lion won. I'm not fleeing at all. I'm leaving because, okay, we've had our confrontation, right? I know I've gotten what I need from this fight, and now it's time to go, right? So it's now on my terms, not the lion's terms. And one other thing, this is all just an exercise to overcome the natural reaction to reject information outright. Okay, so I'm not talking about what happens after, what you do with that information. Okay, that's a whole nother thing. This is all just to overcome the natural reaction to reject it, right? This is to improve your ability to accept uncomfortable information, and then you get to decide, you get to assess it as a philosopher king, how useful it is for your objectives. This is just one step in seeing the light. All right, so that's going to be it for this one. It might have seemed a little intense. At least it felt intense when I was talking about it. But like that's because how real it is. When I'm not making these videos for fun. Okay, it is fun. I do find this incredibly interesting, and I'm having fun doing it. But I'm making these videos because I know some people out there are going to take something from it, and it's going to benefit them. And this reaction that I'm talking about is very real. And if you don't put in the work to overcome it, it will impact your life. Okay? And the reverse. If you do put in the work to overcome it, it will impact your life in what I believe is a positive way. It's definitely had a positive impact on my life. It's not something to take lightly. I do try to have fun with these videos, but as we keep going, we're going to get into some ideas, some truths that will for sure instill this reaction. And you're going to have that fight or flight response. And hopefully you've taken something from this video and maybe some of the videos I've done to date that can help you hold on to the lion, sit in that discomfort, and engage with that information, with that truth, and use it to better your life, help you achieve the outcomes that you want to achieve, and help incorporate more truth and love into this world.